Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Beyond Sports Podcast, where we BS about sports. Not a lot to talk about, really, but we've got a couple stories, we figured we'd do some questions. Starting off, we got Eagles traded Jalen Rieger.
They did. They finally did it.
I can't believe
close to PP's heart.
I honestly feel bad for Jalen Rieger. Not because of where he's going and because the Vikings are a solid team. I mean, they're never great, but
if they could get a quarterback that could play in big games.
Yeah, it's just I feel bad because his whole time in Philadelphia, it was poor Justin Jefferson. You drafted right before him, and then he gets traded to a team where he plays with Justin Jefferson.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
I feel bad for him a little.
He's gonna have a reminder of his own failure right in the same wide receiver room.
Plus the Vikings GM laughed when the Eagles took him.
They did. He did.
So I mean, that's a little awkward.
They laughed and they applauded when the Eagles took him and they got
Jay Jettis fell to him.
So brutal.
But somehow the Eagles got a decent trade.
Yeah, I mean, you give up 2 picks to get Gardner Johnson, and then you get 2 picks in return for obviously not the same picks over and over, but it's good.
Yeah, kind of rather have that first round pick back over, But hey,
dude, I mean, sometimes
you can at this point.
They got an extra first rounder next year as well, so I mean, it's one of those situations. They are still set up with draft picks.
Yeah, they're in a good place.
Yeah, so I mean, best of luck to Jalen Rieger. I mean, hopefully a change of scenery can be good for him. We've seen it with other players, but
hey, man,
his time in Philadelphia was just not it. I mean, not every player.
To him. Yeah. Good job, Howie, with another bang up trade.
Yeah, trades are what keep that man employed, dude. I'm telling you, because his drafts leave a lot to be desired.
Yeah, but hey. Great with the
good one this year and last year. So
overall, this is just another thing to add to the Eagles' bang up off season. So
yeah,
not bad, Howie.
This is Rager's third year.
Yeah, this would be he'd be going into his third year.
Yep. So I mean, we've seen it with like Nelson Aguilar, even with the Eagles. That Super Bowl year was, I want to say, his 4th year, and they didn't pick up the option. So it was like that make or break sort of year for him. And he parlayed that into a nice contract extension. But yeah, I mean, maybe.
You know what? I'm going to go off of order here just because this kind of leads in Eagles news. But Pete, you were telling us about that signature by Brandon Graham.
Oh my gosh, dude. I'm going to pull it up so I have the exact wording right again. It is amazing.
It's pretty good. I figured, Eagle's the Eagle, so.
Yeah.
Super shade.
I should have had that pulled up right then, but it is.
I put you on the spot. That's my fault.
Going out of order. That was supposed to be 5, Tim, not 2.
I know. I'm sorry.
Okay, I got it pulled up. So Brandon Graham signs a helmet, and it says, "Tom Brady is my bitch. Fuck Tom Brady. Fuck the Patriots. Strip sack goat. Super Bowl champs."
It's pretty wonderful.
There's some super shade there.
Any shade thrown at Tom Brady's good shade.
And you know what? Even if you're Tom Brady, though, that's still some respect to say like that the dude's biggest accomplishment in his career was sacking. I mean, it's a pretty big accomplishment to sack Tom Brady to win a Super Bowl. But like, if you're Tom Brady, feel a little respect for that, right? Like,
yeah, Tom Brady.
How many people beat me in Super Bowls, and this guy did, and it's the biggest accomplishment of his career.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Tom gives a fuck.
No.
He
Trey
probably
Lance also
No.
signed another helmet, and he just signed a helmet. Fuck Dallas.
That one's even better, actually.
Yeah.
I like that one a
Dude,
little better. It's simple, sweet, and yeah, it's something we can all agree with.
Yeah.
Fuck Dallas.
For real. I very happy that he signed those helmets that way. I love it.
Yeah. Just
great.
thought we would mention that because it was pretty silly.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
Let's go into. We had a question for second year quarterbacks biggest leap / let's rank them maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, that big old QB draft class from last year.
I mean, we have 5.
Probably 6.
You throw in an
Oh, do you want to throw in? We should throw in Mills.
Yeah, we don't do
because,
just
wow,
first rounders.
Yeah, we should.
I think the one that it's kind of cheating, but the one that probably makes the biggest leap to me is Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
I mean, he's going into a starting role. He's started what 3 to 5 games last year.
My thing on
shaky in preseason.
Yeah, my thing on Trey is I just don't know how Jimmy getting re-signed is going to affect him.
Yeah, I mean,
if he can keep that in the back, out of his mind, I think he probably will have one of the bigger leaps out of the quarterbacks. But I don't know. I don't think that was smart of the Niners to do.
Bad game is going to be rough.
Yeah.
But
I mean, his first interception, if he throws an interception early in his first game, it's not going to be great for him.
They're not gonna try to pull him that quick though. I think
no. But
no
it's
matter how bad he does.
He's gonna hear it though,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially if their first game's a home game.
As far as like taking the leap though, I mean, I think for me the easy call is Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Trevor Lawrence. Because
I think he's my one
year.
Yeah, I mean, there was nobody was ever going to have success.
No,
last year.
Peyton Manning wouldn't have succeeded last year.
No.
Yeah, speaking of our resident trader here. But yeah, no, all he had to do last year was survive Urban Meyer. Everybody on that team just had to survive Urban Meyer. And he did that, and hopefully it didn't damage him too much. And he's definitely poised.
He didn't get hurt.
I think take the biggest leap.
As
well.
Yeah, I mean could Jacksonville win that division?
No, probably not.
Not out of the question, I don't think. I mean,
you do never know with a new coach, right? You never know how that and a lot of new pieces to the team. So
I'm not 100% sold on any team in that division.
Yeah,
that is true. That is the easiest division to steal right now.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the weaker divisions, in my opinion.
And it's kind of hard. Like after the debacle they had last year, it's kind of hard to judge how good Jacksonville actually are.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. They got some decent talent sprinkled all over that roster. I mean,
for sure.
I will say, Trevor had, even with dealing with Urban Meyer and then him being fired halfway through the season, he still had 3,600 passing yards, which wasn't bad. He did have a league leading 17 interceptions.
A lot of picks.
Yeah, but it looks like FanDuel Sportsbook has him. The over under is 3,800 yards this season. So
not terrible.
Yeah, and I mean, those picks probably.
I would take that over, honestly.
Yeah,
and yeah.
So those probably come down, and he also now has a coach that can prepare for the NFL players he's going against. That's not going to be asking stupid questions like, "Who's that 99 on the Rams?"
And a coach that is good with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He knows how to coach them up. He's good with young quarterbacks. I don't know if that division, like it is probably the easiest one to steal, but Mike Vrabel always has his boys prepared after being the most injured team in the league last year and still finishing number 1 in the AFC. It doesn't really seem to matter the players they have because the system in Vrabel is that good. I think the Colts as well, if Matt Ryan can, be maybe a little better than Phillip Rivers was a couple years ago, then they're definitely poised for another playoff run. Maybe a playoff win. They have a great defense. They had the best defense in the league last year. They've got a great run game. So Matt Ryan doesn't even have to be like that good necessarily.
No.
Right? He has to be better than Carson Wentz and not fuck up against goddamn Clown Town in last
Hey.
you know, in a must-win game to go to the playoffs. If Matt Ryan cannot fuck that up, of course, the
No.
Colts, no matter who their quarterback is, have an issue beating Jacksonville and Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'd say what the last.
I think Matt Ryan's the best quarterback they've had since Andrew Luck.
Probably. He's better than Phillip Rivers, I would say, right? Phillip never won an MVP or got to a Super Bowl.
At the point they got Phillip Rivers, yeah, Phillip Rivers was fucking.
Yeah. Not that Matt Ryan is like, I don't think he's leaps and bounds better any, but
I mean,
Matt Ryan played in a Super Bowl.
But you're talking also the stage you're getting Matt Ryan at is not the same caliber quarterback he was when he got them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. We know that. But we were saying he's better than Phillip when they got Phillip.
I'd agree. Yeah. I mean,
I honestly think
they could get to the playoffs.
He's not going to throw the game away like Carson.
I just don't know who the Titans going to throw the ball to.
I mean, they did get Robert Woods. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Robert.
And they also brought in Cooper.
Yeah, we questioned the Titans what they were going to do after Derrick Henry got hurt last year, and they didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
They didn't really stop.
Derrick Henry going to be getting them yards and TDs though.
Well, they also drafted Trayvon Burks in the first round with the pick they acquired from the Eagles for AJ Brown, whose pro comparison was AJ Brown.
AJ Brown. So
I mean,
so who takes the smallest leap?
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. See,
because Mac Jones did so well-ish that I think he might be the one that we see take a little. He could take a dip.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are going to be way worse than a lot of people want to admit.
Yeah, I mean, and supposedly they haven't looked very good.
With your guy, with your offensive play caller being a defensive coordinator most of his career, right? Like it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the thing is, nobody wants to go work there. Everybody
right?
on that staff is somebody who's like come through the system as a player.
Well, I think that's all that Belichick trust as well. Like, I don't think Belichick does not like hiring guys outside of his own,
See, now if Mac didn't have such a big year last year, I think mine would be Justin Fields, but I think
that's
you're right.
Exactly who mine is.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I think Justin Fields, just that offensive line and the lack of weaponry that he has there. And
but it's not like he did that well last year to slip so far down. Yeah. I think he goes up. I mean,
that's the only thing. See, that's the only thing for me with Justin Fields is he didn't have a great year. Yeah, he didn't have a great year last year. I just don't think he's going to have much of a better one if he does.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we said the smallest step forward, not the biggest step back.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think after Lawrence, he could, because with how he looked in preseason, he might surprise us.
I hope
they don't have. He doesn't have a lot around him. But he may do all right.
I hope he does. But I'm just worried about the lack of talent around him and having a defensive minded head coach for your second year quarterback.
Right. The two guys we haven't mentioned,
Zach Wilson. Yeah.
If he can be healthy, I have no idea. He may take a little step forward. He may do nothing at all. He might just be the next Sam Darnold.
I can't put any faith in a statement that says that a Jets player is going to
be good.
It's
hard. It's really hard.
A Jets player to make a big leap.
Especially in QB.
Davis Mills could also have a solid.
That guy could surprise us. That guy could be the big surprise of the.
He's kind of like that sleeper one I'm looking at. Like I don't.
He was the surprise of last year.
Really good last year.
He was the second best out of all those guys last year. He had the second best season, right? It was like Mac Jones, then Davis Mills.
He just kind of low key put together a good season.
He did.
He would just play for a team that was virtually
unwatchable. Names, nobody knows me.
Yeah, man. Talk about a guy with nothing besides Brandon Cooks.
Yeah,
which Brandon Cooks isn't nothing, but that's
been solid every stop he's had. So
he has, yeah.
I got Nico Collins.
He at least has somebody. Who?
Nico Collins.
Sorry, what?
Went to Michigan.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, Davis Mills, I think he could definitely Maybe Lawrence.
Yeah, he was kind of like a big surprise last year,
Lawrence-
but can he
Yeah.
top it?
Lance.
I mean, I think he could. Yeah, I mean,
Fields.
I'm gonna put him right about exactly
Wilson.
where he was last year.
so second.
Yeah,
I think I maybe third for me, but yeah, second I think.
because I think Lawrence is gonna. I think he's gonna be our biggest for me.
He's got so much talent, and he's finally got a good coach and some guys around him that it really seems like he is poised. I know the same could be said for Lance, but
see
Yeah, which is my pick. I like
the Garoppolo
Lance-
thing is just what does it for me with Lance.
that sucks, and he didn't quite look as good as we want it to in the postseason. He also played what, like 12 college games, 11, 12
yeah,
college
he
games.
didn't play much in college. What?
Barely a full season of college ball, and now you're like, oh, you sat 1 year in the NFL, go get him. So that worries me too.
Yeah.
The guy just doesn't have a lot of experience.
There's a lot that's I think could stand in his way. Now, if he can get around those things, I think he could be better than Trevor Lawrence this year. But
well, they say he's got the highest ceiling, but can he?
yeah, can he
without him
get there?
Actually getting there,
Mhm.
right? Which is why he was taken so high up.
It's just hard for me
Only
to take him
playing
now with all
a
that.
dozen games. Yeah. So he might be the one who,
But I'd
maybe not
like
this
for
year,
him
but
to
maybe
surprise me. I
next
like
year
Trey
or the
Lance.
year after. Yeah, maybe Trey Lance overall out of all these guys ends up
Mhm.
having the best career, being the best. I don't know if it happens this year.
No, I don't even think Trey Lance is going to start every game this year.
So yeah, Jimmy G.
Yeah. So do we think that the fans are going to start calling for Jimmy G to be a starter after a win or a loss?
Always after, never after.
I don't know enough about the Niners
Yeah.
fans. Like
I
I
feel
don't
like
know
the
how.
fans are pretty
for-
chill and they don't typically root against. So I'm gonna say the fans are gonna not be as big of a problem with this. I'd be more concerned about receivers if Trey is having off days and missing open targets. I could see them being the ones that are like, yo, dude, like we got this guy who led us to a Super Bowl and an NFC championship game. Let's get him up in there.
Yeah.
So
the locker room could be
yeah.
the biggest enemy here too. If they start doing poorly and everybody's like, hey, we've got a guy right here that we can win with, that we've done it before.
Yeah,
Nothing against this young guy, but again, he's only started like 12 games in college, and now you're trying to.
I think there's a lot of Jimmy G Kool-Aid out there in San Francisco.
There should be. I mean, he's been nothing but
had a lot of success with them.
Yeah. Very successful quarterback for them. I mean,
there was a lot of Alex Smith Kool-Aid with us, and we didn't have the same success they had with Jimmy.
I mean, you mentioned Alex Smith. Like Alex Smith was pretty good for the Niners too, and then they just replaced him with Cap.
Yeah, I mean, and they gave.
And it's kind of like the same situation here.
But that fan base also gave Alex a lot of opportunities. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Before Harbaugh, Alex had a lot of years where you're like, this dude is a busty bust.
Yeah, so I think they were just ready as well, even though he'd finally gotten good, but he had also finally gotten a good coach and a good team.
Now the question is, will they allow another guy, so many opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, this team is also the closer, I mean,
yeah, that's true.
I've gotten closer than any of those Alex Smith led teams prior to Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's a different situation, but maybe it's more similar to that Kaepernick, Alex Smith transition. The fan base did adore Alex, but they didn't sit there.
Yeah, the problem was Alex wasn't still there.
True. I mean,
they got rid of Alex pretty quickly after that half a season, when they replaced him mid-season, right? Alex, and they went from Alex to Cap. It's much easier to go old to new than it is new to old. If you start with the new guy, like they're wanting to do, you find out you have to go back to the old guy. There's no putting the new guy back in there, really. You've already ruined it. Like, you've ruined his season. You've ruined his confidence. You're going to have to wait.
I don't think
I think that's the whole key to getting a new, to getting a new quarterback is you got to get rid of the old one.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
keep that dude around.
the Chiefs did it because we knew, like, there's no way we're gonna
Yeah.
cause a QB controversy with our new young quarterback.
Yeah,
The Niners, I mean,
just puts a
they
lot
did
of
everything to
stress
show
on
that this is Trey's team, but they ultimately had to bring Jimmy back. Whether they just couldn't get a trade done. I mean, there's a lot of people who say nobody wanted Jimmy, and I don't fucking buy that. Like, I don't buy
I
the
don't buy
narrative
it
that
either.
no
It's-
team wanted Jimmy Garoppolo. Go fucking suck a dick. Oh, he's hard to get off, or he's hard to get off. It's hard to get a hold. He's hard to get a hold of in the offseason. Like, yeah, when the guy he showed up for all the OTAs, all the training, like he's never not been there when he actually needed to be. Like, so the guy has some vacation that he
Yeah.
he was on vacation when he's supposed
He's
to.
like, oh, I'm not at work right now. I'm not at
Right.
work right now.
Who do you think Jimmy G should be starting over? If he could go anywhere.
I mean,
I
both
mean,
the guys in Seattle.
Atlanta.
They're just I agree with Seattle, but they're never going to trade
No,
No,
yeah,
they're not.
Carolina.
unless Seattle gives up the house.
Maybe Carolina. With Baker. I mean, I guess probably Baker might have the better upside though, and I understand why
That's
they
the
want to
thing,
go with him.
like you know what you have with Jimmy. Like he's not getting any better.
Right.
Atlanta.
Exactly. Atlanta. Yeah, that's why I said Atlanta. The Giants
Giants for sure.
for sure, but I know they want to see that one more year out of
The
Danny
Raiders.
Dimes with a good coach, maybe.
Just kidding.
I don't even hate Derek Carr, but I probably would rather have Jimmy Garoppolo over Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins,
Broncos.
Jared Goff.
Just an
Cousins.
Probably.
Russell.
Commander.
You know what? Let's just say
That's
Chargers too,
ridiculous.
because I would prefer them to have Garoppolo over Herbert.
We would okay. Stop. Now you're not even. That's not even the topic.
No,
anymore.
see, yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
can think of a lot of stops where I would personally be like, those are good fits for Jimmy.
Yeah, probably
he's
over
at least
Kirk
an upgrade.
Cousins because I trust Jimmy G down the stretch, like in the must-have moments of the game that I do more than I do Kirk Cousins. Sneaky, what happened to your screen, man? You're just like
Yeah.
all sorts of blurry.
Oh wow, I don't know.
All right, let's move on. Sneaky brought up a question. Could Jacoby win the starting job for the Browns? I mean, he has 11 games to do it, but I mean, it would have to be miraculous, I think.
Quite the uphill climb to do that.
Yeah. I mean, you paid way too much money.
131 million reasons why I don't see
yeah.
that happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Jacoby Brissett. I think that he's been talented and shown flashes everywhere he's gone. Even in New England when he was there,
Yeah, oh yeah, he's always looked good until he looked really good until he got hurt with the Colts.
Yeah, he's never been one of those guys I think could be the face of a franchise, but he's
a solid backup.
Yeah, I don't see there being any way.
Yeah.
I think there's too much money and there's already they're gonna try to save some sort of face, be like, oh, look at how good he is, sort of thing.
I mean, I thought I'm with you on that. I like even if he came out 11-0.
Yeah, I think they pull that.
He's just going to become really good trade bait for next season.
It would honestly, I think Jacoby to win that job is Deshaun would be starting week 1 and being really bad. Like really bad.
See, look, if they do somehow get to, if they're in playoff contention and or maybe if they're winning their division, they only have 1 or 2 losses. It really is a serious conversation because the chemistry that flips on your team.
I definitely agree.
The locker room could be just devastating for a locker room, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And for your fan base too, right? That tears it. Like they even feel that from a fan base, like the organization.
Yeah.
That it shouldn't have an effect, but it does a little bit when the fan base sees you having, being really good, winning with this quarterback, and then swapping him out for another quarterback who they also hate because of all the things he's done.
Mm-hmm.
So there could definitely be a real QB controversy if they've only got a couple losses.
I would love to see it. I would
11.
absolutely love to see it.
Well,
I'm hoping for it. That's a
how are those players going to respond in week 12 when Deshaun Watson's starting, and all of a sudden they're getting way different kind of hate than they ever got before on the road, and
Right.
probably at home too.
Because his first game's in Houston, correct?
Yep.
Oh God,
Yep.
Like that is not going to be a nice
That
environment.
stuff is
That's going to be
no.
like I said, that leaks in to an organization.
that's
like,
going to be LeBron James to return to Cleveland when he was with Miami levels of bad.
oh, it's going to be way worse than that.
I agree. I mean, but it's
At least LeBron's thing was like it's not hurting anybody. Like it was
Yeah.
fun. It was all fun, right?
I'm
That
just
was
talking about the
fun
hostile.
type of
It was a
sport.
hostile environment. They had to bring
Yeah,
in
but that was like
security
a
and all that.
fun hostile environment type of sports thing.
Yeah.
Not like this. Not like a truly hateful like
Yeah.
no, on a moral level, we do not want you here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, different ball game.
I just think it's. I mean, it's going to be one of the most hostile environments that we've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure. For
So-
sure. And especially if Jacoby's playing well,
Yeah.
if they somehow only have a couple losses and Jacoby's just played okay, which I don't see that. Like, I think if they only have a couple losses, Jacoby's been playing out of
I
his
think they're
mind,
going to be a
but
4-win team at that point.
they probably are. I know this is so unlikely. It's such an
Yeah.
unlikely scenario, but it's so much fun, and it's something you
I
really
mean, that's
want
just
to
my
happen.
personal opinion. I mean,
I
I
really
don't-
want them to be very good until Deshaun starts, and then once Deshaun starts, I want him to be fucking terrible.
I would love it. Yeah, absolutely. That's
It would be cool to see him steal that job, but like P said, 230 million
Reasons why, yeah,
reasons why.
it's
Yeah.
not likely at all. But there's
Yeah, if Watson went out there and lost every game that he starts, he would still be the unquestioned starter next year.
Yeah, I think that the only thing that changes that is if he were to go to jail.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
That's the only solution.
like, obviously that would stop it, but
So let's move off of Jacoby and let's pick division winners for the NFL season.
Yeah.
I mean, let's start out AFC East.
Bills.
Bills.
Bills. AFC. Yeah. I mean, we don't really need to.
I guess the more interesting conversation is who's going to be second, Miami or New England.
Miami.
Miami.
Okay, let's go on then.
Yeah, let's move to the
I think
north.
New England is a solid lock for third.
All right.
Let's go to the north.
Ooh, that's a fun one. I
This
think
was
Ravens.
tough.
Baltimore wins it, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
AFC North, ooh, that's wild.
I'm kind of leaning
It's a
Baltimore
tough one.
too. If they can stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man,
it's
Yeah.
honestly between the Ravens and Bengals, right?
right.
There's no question there.
Yeah.
I could see the Steelers being better than a lot of people expect.
I'm gonna take
Oh,
an
yeah.
unpopular opinion. I don't believe in Joe
That is-
Burrow.
I don't understand that
That is
either.
an unpopular opinion.
It's an opinion that I'm sticking with. It's kind of like Nick Wright with Tom Brady. How every year he's like, he's getting too old, he's not going to do it, and then he just does it again, and then Nick has to go out the next year and he says the same thing. I'm kind of doing that with Joe Burrow right now, and it's not because they beat the Chiefs. I didn't like him going into the season.
So who do you like? Who do you think? Who would you rather have, Joe Burrow or Josh Allen?
Josh Allen.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, I kind of would too, though. I agree with that. I might.
And
rather
I
have-
think
will.
you go
I
Joe
would
Burrow.
I
answer
don't know.
that.
That is tough.
I think Burrow in 2 years. I mean,
Yeah.
last year was him coming off an ACL injury.
Yeah,
He led him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I think Joe Burrow I think he's got that fight in him, that dog
Dude,
in him.
there's
that,
something
like, I
about
think
him,
at
yeah,
the-
like-
at the end of the game, you're gonna want Joe Burrow as your quarterback.
Yeah, and I
think
love
that could
Josh
be-
Allen.
Joe Burrow can will like wins,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could single-handedly, I think.
The only thing that
There's
Not
makes
that
something-
Josh Allen can't. I think Josh Allen can do those things too, but we did kind of see it much quicker out of Joe Burrow. And
Yeah.
The edge for me on Josh Allen is his running.
Yeah, he is great running ball. Yeah, I agree.
I
And-
saw Joe Burrow get out of trouble when he needed to and still
Yeah.
extend the play. And
Joe Burrow's a
we
little
had just
sneakier
as
with it.
much. We had a tough time trying to sack him as well. Not that he didn't get sacked a bunch, but that's more of his offensive line than it was.
I
him.
will say opposite of my view there. I mean, Joe Burrow had a terrible offensive line last year, and he still
Horrific.
won a or made it to a Super Bowl. So
Now he had an incredible receiving core
Yeah, and great
Very
and a great young running back.
and a great young, but yeah, didn't have anything of an offensive line. Now it did end up costing them. That
Yeah.
it ultimately ended up costing them in the end.
now for my pick, I am gonna say Bengals though.
Okay. It's tough. That's a
Tim,
tough one to pick.
do all that shit just to say Bengals.
That's
Fuck
so
off.
Nick Wright of you. That is so fucking Nick
It
Wright.
is,
I
isn't
know,
it?
right?
Tom
Okay.
Brady's gonna have a huge down year,
Okay,
but I'm gonna take the Bucks.
Nick
to
Wright
win.
rubs off on me. I hear him every day, so I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyways,
Let's
I
move.
gotta go with the Ravens in the North.
I think I'm
Ravens?
gonna go with
Okay.
the Ravens.
So we got
as
3.
well.
So that's the only one so far where we've had one separate pick. Let's go south.
Well, it was only our second one.
That's
Okay,
true.
this is also the next hardest one. I think we're covering the 2 hardest divisions to pick here almost.
I'm gonna say Colts.
I want to say Colts too because on paper it should be the
It should be the
Colts,
Colts.
but the Titans just do it every year, man. The Titans have run that
know.
division now for
And
a
they
few
did
years,
it
and they
with
just-
injuries.
and they
but-
do with injuries. They find ways to win. Mike Vrabel's a very good coach who can just somehow pull these wins out of his ass. Like,
Jacksonville and Houston definitely got tougher this year too.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Did improve.
I'm not
They-
saying
they
they can
did
win the
good.
division, but it's gonna be a rough fight to win that division.
yeah, they're not going to be as easy as they were last year to just
Yeah.
roll over. But
I still can't. I don't see a reason to not pick the Colts.
My reason
again,
for-
It's not an enthusiastic pick, but
the same reason the Titans won it last year. The same reason the Titans somehow won had the best record in the AFC last year.
I am gonna pick the Titans as well. And my reason for taking the Titans is I'm gonna say continuity
Yeah.
at the quarterback position is gonna keep every year switching out your quarterback is not gonna.
It's not great for the
it's not
team.
instilling
Mm-mm.
confidence in me to pick the Colts. I think they have a great defense, great run game, nice young receiver in Michael Pittman Jr. I don't love the Matt Ryan
I
trade.
get it.
I don't think it was a huge.
I don't think he's a
Boom.
huge upgrade, but
Yeah, I think they would have been better off going for a Jimmy Garoppolo than
Yeah, they
Matt
probably
Ryan.
would.
I agree.
That's exactly what their team needs is a Jimmy Garoppolo. With how they're built, with the run game, with the defense,
Because Jimmy
Jimmy's
doesn't.
exactly who they needed.
Jimmy typically
who they
doesn't
need,
take the
Adam.
risk that Carson Wentz would.
Yeah.
You know, and that was
Or
the
that
big issue
Matt
with
Ryan
Wentz.
that Matt Ryan might even take still trying to rely on what he was instead of what he is now.
Yeah.
Right? Like Jimmy knows what he is. Jimmy's always been Jimmy.
Yeah,
you
so I begrudgingly take the Titans
Hey,
because I think
do
they've
you
only
think-
gotten worse in the offseason.
Mhm.
But I
Do
think
you
that they're
think-
still.
The Colts are like the top destination for Garoppolo next year,
Potentially.
right?
I will say that this AFC South in the entire AFC, I will say, has the most potential for, in my eyes, for a worst to first jump.
Yeah, they
So-
could do it.
That's the division in
Jaguars?
the AFC that I think you could see the team that was finished worst win the division. So
Yeah, maybe the Jaguars. It's
yeah, I'm
I
not
mean-
saying it will happen, but I think that this is the one to keep your eye on for that potential type of thing with
I think
Jacksonville.
honestly the next division we're going to talk about might have the biggest potential for that.
Do we even need to talk about the next?
No,
Oh,
because
bro.
there's the first place team is already a lock. It's been in the lock for what, 7 years?
So yeah, this will be like year set. Yeah, I think we all are going to say
Oh.
Chiefs. Obviously, all of our bias is going to, but also because like it's been the past 6 years.
Okay,
right?
so instead of
7
picking
years straight.
instead of picking a winner, who's the loser?
The
in that
worst
division?
team.
For me, it's
it's tough, man.
God. It got hard with.
Whoever ends
I don't
up
think
fourth
Russ
in
is
this
that
division
good
is
anymore,
gonna,
but-
like,
Yeah,
oof,
I'm
they're
gonna
gonna have
say
some soul
Broncos.
searching.
I mean,
That's gonna be-
yeah.
I think the
They're gonna be
Broncos
dark
stay in
days
last.
for
Although again,
whoever finishes fourth in the division.
Yeah,
What was
it's
that, Sneaky? I couldn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say I think it's gonna be dark days for whatever team finishes fourth in this division.
No.
Because every team in this division thinks they're gonna win the Super Bowl this year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks
Right.
they're hot shit.
They do. They think that
This is going to be. This
I
is going
really
to be.
hope. I really hope it's not us.
Yeah,
I-
we would go into a spiral if that happened to us. Like our fan base would just lose it, and then for all the other teams after the off seasons they just had to still finish fourth in your division would be. Ooh,
I think this will be the division that has the least separation between first place and last place. Like I think that it's going to be maybe 4 games separates first and last place in this division.
Yeah.
right.
Okay,
You know,
so
where I
here
can see the Bills absolutely, and the Bills and the Jets being at the completely other end of the spectrum.
10 games apart.
So,
You know,
here-
the Buccaneers and the freaking
I'm going to say the Broncos.
Falcons. I'm going to say the Broncos.
I mean,
I'm gonna
I'm
say
there
the
too.
Broncos as well.
It's tough because I think it could easily be the Raiders.
Same
Yeah.
here because of Josh McDaniels.
Absolutely.
I think
Right,
the
Okay,
none
Raiders,
of these
so-
nothing's a lock in this division.
One
Yeah.
more, one
Besides
more
probably-
AFC.
I think
West
first and
question.
second are a lock with the Chiefs
Yeah.
and Chargers.
Unless they do
Yeah,
something stupid
but
again.
That's what I thought last year too, for sure.
Mhm.
And then the Raiders, like I thought, no way the Raiders are going to beat out the Chargers
They had
last
a-
year in the division. Like I
Emotion.
felt just as confident going into the year that hey man, the Chargers, they got a new coach, they've got the bunch of talent. They're going to try to push us for the division, which they did for like 3/4 of the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the Raiders, beat them out. So, well, I'm
I think the
fairly
big thing
confident
the
the
big thing for me
Chargers.
that's gonna hold the Raiders back is their offensive line. It's hard. It's hot trash.
Their line is garbage, but
But as the Bengals showed that, you can still get pretty far.
So, okay,
Trash.
I got another
Line.
question. AFC West question.
Good wide receivers.
How
What?
many wild card teams come out of the West? 1 or 2?
Probably
So
not.
there's, what, 3 wild cards?
yeah.
Yeah, I probably won because the division, as everybody said, the division's going to eat itself. So you're not
Yeah.
going to get even the first place team might still be third in the AFC.
But if there is a lot of splitting games between our divisions somehow, like
Yeah.
each team goes 1-1 against each team, then it could easily, and then they do well against other teams. It could
Yeah.
easily.
Your losses there.
It very well could be 3 of them make it as wild cards, but it could also
But
just one.
I think the
Mhm.
the
I
rest
think-
of the AFC is just too hard, right? Because I think the Ravens and Bengals both get into the playoffs.
I think the
You see, I
Dolphins-
think that one's in for a
The
lot.
Dolphins have
The
a
Dolphins
good
are
chance of
very-
getting in
and-
there.
and then
The
Colts,
and
Titans.
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 So I think it's just with the rest, it's definitely not going to be
Yeah.
3, maybe 2.
Yeah. If we have a
I think I
two
think the
for
AFC West
chance.
definitely gets one wild card team.
yeah. I
Well, okay, yeah.
think one. I
Probably
think
one-
Chargers
2
probably.
playoff teams, but as far as 3 playoff teams, it's gonna be tough with the AFC, man. The
Mhm.
AFC is
Yeah.
hard. Like
It's stacked.
10 wins might not get you into the playoffs, even with that extra playoff
Oh,
spot.
10 wins. I will say 10 wins will definitely not get you in the playoffs in the AFC.
Ooh,
Yeah,
not
unless
well,
you're
I would say
winning
that
the
in a
AFC
normal
On a
South.
17 game schedule.
on a 17 game schedule, you might with 10 wins.
Yeah, I think
Because,
the
or not a
AFC South
17
might
game
get
schedule,
one with
a
10 wins.
17 playoff. A 17 playoff stretch. Like
So yeah,
you
I
know.
think it's going to take minimum 11 wins to get you in the playoffs this year.
in the AFC, maybe.
We'll have
in
to
the
see how because each of these divisions
The
have
NFC, you could still have
2
an
teams that are
8-win
really
team.
competitive. So there's going to be potential for a lot of splits in the divisions.
Mhm.
I mean, we could see every division, the top 2 teams splitting their matchups.
Oh,
Right.
sure.
And a
It's
lot
hard
of
for
those
me to
teams-
sit there and
it's-
say I think the Ravens sweep the Bengals, barring major injuries, but
Yeah, and just like
Oh.
how the AFC's going to eat itself, the whole AFC conference could just.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's
eat
every
itself.
division there's more balance in the AFC than I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just like
So-
the talent's really spread out. It's not like the NFC that's completely top heavy.
Yeah,
Where you're like, there's only really 3 or 4 teams that matter in the NFC. You got like Green Bay, Tampa Bay, San Fran, maybe the Rams for sure.
Rams. Yeah,
So okay, let's just go into
And
the
do you really
NFC.
believe any team in the East is gonna make a real like? I'm sorry, I think the Eagles probably would, but do we
The
think
Eagles
any team in
definitely
the
got
East is
better.
actually gonna? do
You gotta-
anything.
Got to see what they look like on the field. I mean, how Jalen. It comes down to Jalen Hurts.
I mean, we're not to the NFC East yet, but I think one playoff win is
that's
the
where
best
we're-
that division has in them.
That's where we're headed. So let's just do it. Let's do NFC East.
Okay, so yeah, there we go. I think the Eagles win it, but even then, at best, I think they get one playoff win. That's
Yeah,
as good
I
as
got the
it
Eagles.
I'm gonna take the Eagles. I don't
Not
believe
nice
in the
there.
Cowboys. The Giants are hot trash, and the Commanders have gotten better, but they're not.
Yeah, they got a wins issue.
The Eagles have the most talent. The Eagles seem like they have the most upside.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
and I mean,
they
Cowboys-
improved pretty well in the
to me,
offseason,
it just
so-
really, yeah. I mean, because last year they were one of the worst teams with sacks. They're going to be healthier on the D line.
Mhm.
They're deeper on the D line as well than they
Mhm.
were last year.
You've had a great offseason.
The defensive backfield is incredible right now. I mean,
Yeah, and
you have
the
two of the top
Cowboys-
corners in the league. You got a high end safety who can also come down and play that Malcolm Jenkins role from our Super
Yeah.
Bowl year. So the
Oh,
defense, I'm
they've
not worried
improved
about.
in almost every way.
Yeah, it's
While the
just
Cowboys have regressed, I
Yeah.
think,
a
in
lot of
every
ways,
way.
and they're just kind of
losing Gregory, losing Cooper. Like,
yeah. I mean, Gallup is still out with his late season knee injury. Yeah, it's just
yeah, they're
Tyrod Smith being out until December.
they're banged up. Yeah. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
have to see what happens in the East. There.
That division again.
It's
yeah,
always
not-
entertaining.
It's not a lock
Yeah.
necessarily for the Eagles, but
No, and it's always like Tim said, it's always entertaining, even
Mm-hmm.
when we have one team over 500 or at 500.
Yeah.
and-
right.
Make
You
the
never
playoffs.
you never know what's happening in the NFC East.
Yeah,
No.
and I love it. I love it.
And you know there hasn't been a repeat winner for how long?
Yeah.
And the Cowboys won it last
Andy
year. So,
Reid.
yeah, since Andy Reid did it with the Eagles.
All right, so let's
So-
go north.
Packers.
Packers.
Okay. All right, Pax. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do we,
Packers.
I think the biggest question, like after that, is it probably the Vikings, and then
Vikings,
But-
yeah.
I think the Lions. I
Lions-
think the Lions
the-
end up with a better win loss than the
then
Bears.
Yeah.
Oh
okay.
yeah, the Bears are not
definitely-
going to be good.
No. Which
No,
is
I
why I
mean-
was down on Fields.
Which is
Not an
cool,
indictment of them.
not because not an indictment on Fields, but I think the Lions have like I don't know. Their coach really has me kind of drinking that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, their secondary
For
don't
sure.
their
So,
secondary is
Yeah.
hot garbage.
yeah,
Detroit, like they are going to
they're gonna get
get
roasted.
feasted on week 1 by Philly.
Mhm.
Probably.
AJ Brown and Devonta Smith should have big
You
days.
want to believe in the Lions, like Tim said, just because you
Yeah.
know you love the team, but like, are they going to?
And it's like, the Lions are that team where they've just been so bad for so long. It's hard not to root for the Lions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can't do that with the Browns anymore. So
No.
all of that has to go to the Lions.
Well, and
Um,
you've got a surefire, exciting player to watch over there in Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, their biggest downside for them, for the Lions, is Goff.
for sure.
Goff's had a really good camp. I mean,
Yeah, he looked
But
decent, but
He's just he doesn't excite me.
no,
Oh,
me
no.
neither.
no, I mean,
No,
he didn't
how
excite
could he?
Ramsey.
how could you?
Yeah,
He was so unexciting for the Rams that they said we'll never take a first round pick again. We're gonna give up all of our first round picks so we never fucking draft
never
Jared
do
Goff
that
again.
again?
Which you would have thought Sam Bradford would have been enough, but
Okay,
let's go south.
we've talked about the bad teams in the North long enough.
I'm gonna say
But-
Bucks. Yeah, $2.
The
Bucks.
Saints
I
got
don't-
a chance.
I don't want to.
I'm actually gonna go Saints.
Saints.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've got a chance.
I think there's going to be a regression in the Bucks. Not from. I think Tom Brady's still going to have a good year, but I do think that the Jameis Winston having 2 legitimate receiving options could be a good thing. Because I mean, last year he had his best statistical year without
They have a lot on that offense, don't they?
this year. I mean, you got Michael Thomas coming back, and then you drafted Olave in the first
And
round.
You got Landry, you've got Alvin Kamara, you still have Taysom Hill.
You brought
Yeah.
back Mark
Well,
Ingram.
Kamara might be in a little bit of legal trouble.
Mark. Well, we'll see. That won't play out till the end of the
He's
year.
he's
Yeah.
going to miss 6 games at some point.
Yeah,
I'm,
but
I
I
bet
think
that
it'll get
doesn't-
knocked down to 4.
And I bet we don't see that till next year.
Are we not? So we're not giving Carolina any kind of chance.
No,
No.
I don't trust
and that's
Baker.
That's coaching to me. I don't trust
Yeah.
their coaching at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
for me, it's
Matt
coaching.
Rule's
And
at his
I don't
last
like
year.
Baker.
I think it'll be the Bucks, but I think it'll be
I'm
a
good with-
hard fought division.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think there's going to be
easily the Saints could take it, but
Yeah.
I still think it's going to be the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Bucks just because I'm not betting against Brady.
Mhm.
But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if the Saints did it necessarily and had a really good year. I would be shocked if Carolina did it, and of course the Falcons aren't worth it.
It's hard to put anything against Tom Brady any year. So
I
Yeah.
agree. It was hard for me to say, but I am
Yeah.
going to say the Saints.
so let's go West.
Wait, who are you picking, Sneak? You didn't.
The Bucks.
He said Bucks.
Okay.
He said
Okay.
Bucks. So West.
Finish out in the West. Rams. I have them
Rams.
winning it again.
Yeah.
Just because we don't know what we have in Lance and the 49ers. I don't trust the Cardinals to finish strong with Kyler.
Plus, they're missing their top wide receiver for part of the year. So
Yeah, and their first six, so I don't.
Ops.
I am going to say the Niners.
Okay. I'm gonna say Seattle. I'm changing my mind. I'm just kidding.
Gino.
okay, now that we're done,
I think the Rams are too
Sneaks
talented. They win it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Too much talent.
we didn't put this in the books here, but quickly, let's. Who's the Super Bowl? Who's gonna go to this? We don't have to pick a winner. Who's our Super Bowl picks? For me, it's Chiefs. Obviously,
Against two.
I'm biased. I want to say the Packers, not because I also like the Packers, but the reason they can't is because they can't win the championship game. They just can't. Aaron Rodgers can't do it. He's done it once.
Maybe you can get over that hump again. I mean,
Yeah,
Maybe.
you never know.
I think maybe we get a Tampa Bay Chiefs rematch.
Could. Everybody wants the Bills to go. Thinks it's the Bills year.
Yeah.
It's tough to pick against them in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
Although
Since he could do it again
they
too.
take down the monster,
yeah.
but they haven't been able to yet in the playoffs. So it is tough. The AFC is so impossible, right? How many teams could go from the AFC?
I mean, you got a lot of contenders out there.
I would say it's a tough year in general to pick your Super Bowl teams because there were so many players on the move this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many teams looked so much different than they did last year.
Yeah.
So many players on the move, so many coaches as well that you really don't.
Like I want to pick the Chiefs, but we have so many young
We don't
players.
know. We
Gotta
just
pop
don't
off.
know yet.
Defense is such a question mark, man. So
Yeah.
and with all those young players on the defense, I don't know if we can rely on them.
It's hard for me
on the
to
stretch.
take them, but I have to. I just have to.
Like
I'm gonna
I want to say the Bills, but like, can they replicate what they did last year against a tougher AFC?
Bills, maybe the Ravens finally,
That's who I was thinking. I was thinking maybe Baltimore.
If the Ravens are going to break through, it feels like now's the time.
Yeah.
Kind of, although they
don't
no
have
wide receivers.
they have
Yeah,
D-Rob.
Receivers
It's
are-
D-Rob.
Yeah,
But I mean, you
it's fine. Lamar doesn't throw to receivers.
Rashad Bateman, maybe.
They've got a
solid
great
end of the year
tight
last
end.
year. I mean, Rashad Bateman was a first round pick last year. Maybe he does take a step, and
That's true.
he didn't play poorly down the stretch. He just missed the beginning half because of a preseason injury.
Yeah, if your running backs can stay healthy, you've got a good tight end. If you get a little bit of play out of your wide receivers.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like. Yeah,
It is tough, man.
It's really hard. It's almost up for grabs.
I wanna say-
Bills, with Von Miller coming
Bills.
in.
I want to say Bills Rams even that the Rams make it back.
I mean, realistically, there's 4 teams in our division that could go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Are we the Raiders and the Broncos though? Like really, I guess, but
And the Chargers just can't do it because they don't ever do it. So
I am going to say the Chiefs go back and they're going to play Green Bay.
see, that's the pick I want to take. I don't see Aaron getting another.
I think it's a prove it for both Mahomes and I think it's a State Farm provable because everybody was talking so much shit on both of them for losing their top option at wide receiver.
Yeah,
That both of them they're gonna be like, you know what?
they
We're gonna
both
go
have
out
chips
here.
on their shoulder.
We're gonna discount double check this bitch all the way to the end zone to the Super Bowl.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll probably say Chiefs Rams.
It's
Chiefs
Yeah.
Rams. You
I'm
have the
gonna go-
same stink. Oh,
I'm going
That's
with
tough.
the Rams. I'm going with the Rams in the NFC.
mm-hmm.
I think they're the only top.
The
team that
Bills.
got
It's
a
tough
lot
with the
better.
Bill. I'm being biased. Obviously, I let my bias play in a little, for
Same.
sure, with the Chiefs because it could easily be the Bills.
I think there's just enough shit talked to piss off.
Yeah,
Mahomes.
for the
I think-
for the AFC side, if our rookies pop off, it's the Chiefs,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be close.
If our defense can play up to its full potential, it's definitely the Chiefs.
Think
Same.
about the dog shit defenses we've had the last few years and how far we've gone with it.
They're right.
Well, they
Like-
weren't dog shit the year we won it. They weren't. We actually had our line could actually put some pressure on the QB.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
The last couple of years has been a little different.
Yeah,
Let's go.
But-
All right.
Tampa,
Let's do
Dallas.
this then. All right, Bills,
Chargers.
Rams. Let's just start Bills, Rams.
Yeah.
Who you got?
Bills.
Man, that's a rough one.
Yeah,
Potential Super Bowl matchup.
Where's it at?
LA.
LA, man. They won
Rams.
the Super Bowl, so you get.
So it doesn't
you get
really
home.
matter.
I'm gonna go with the Rams.
I said Bills.
Almost a coin toss.
It
Which
really
the
is.
Bills are bad with. So let's go Rams.
I'll split it. I'll take Bills.
Okay, fair enough. That one's tough.
Should we
one's
keep
tough.
track of these picks and keep score?
Oh, why don't you do that? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we
definitely do
should.
it. All right,
You open a
but
new-
let's not do. We don't have to do every game. Like,
No.
let's just do the tough ones because obviously we think we're all going to pick the 49ers over the Bears.
The Saints
Um,
over the Falcons.
Yeah, do we want to do Steelers Bengals? Is that a question, or is everybody just going to go Bengals?
I mean, we'll probably all go Bengals.
Yeah, I'd probably pick the Bengals there.
Unless there's like one. I think we're all going to pick the Eagles over the Lions. Okay,
So
Patriots Dolphins.
Patriots,
Patriots Dolphins.
Dolphins.
We're all going Dolphins, aren't we? I want to say it'd be nice to say Patriots, just because like
I think Dolphins because they're gonna have to come out on fire.
Yeah, the Dolphins have too much talent to fuck this up this year.
I think
you're probably right.
I'm
But I'm
taking
gonna go.
Dolphins.
I'm gonna go Patriots just to be different and maybe get a little ahead here. But I could
Okay.
also just slip back
I
down.
was so close to doing that too, Sam. Because like, yeah, that one.
I'm gonna see if maybe the Patriots can. Although shit, I don't believe in the Patriots at all.
That is
I don't believe in their offense at all.
no.
So I probably just fucked myself. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna have some
Okay.
balls and keep it. We're all gonna pick Ravens. We're okay. Jags are Commanders.
Jags.
Jags.
Yeah, my heart wants the Jags.
I'm probably gonna pick Jags too. Okay, we. can
Doug
skip
Peterson
that.
knows how to beat Carson Wentz.
So yeah,
Okay,
let's
well,
not pick on
well,
that game.
Let's not pick that. We all agree. Okay, Browns Panthers.
Browns Panthers.
I want to say Panthers. I think we all want Panthers, right?
I'm saying
Is
Panthers
anybody-
because they actually have a starting quarterback.
I'm gonna say
Does
the
anybody-
Browns because I think their D line is better than the offensive line of the Panthers.
We
Yeah,
got.
that's the thing.
we
Like
gotta-
the Browns have a lot of talent.
Yeah, the Browns do have enough talent to win that game because the Panthers.
Okay, are you gonna go Browns then?
I'm
Right.
going Browns.
Okay,
Okay.
2 for Browns. 2. Me and Tim are on the Panthers. You guys
All
on
right.
the Browns.
I want the Panthers to win. I truly want the Panthers to win, but I don't think.
Okay. All right. We probably all think the Colts will beat the Texans.
Yeah.
No,
Do you imagine?
I don't.
No.
No. Okay. Interesting.
Let's go
Interesting.
Texans.
Okay.
Colts.
All right.
So who's taking Colts? I got Colts.
Yeah.
Got
Colts.
Sam and Sneaky. And then P's taking
The Texans.
Houston.
All right. Cool. Okay, but we all have the Titans over the Giants, right?
Yeah. I'm not taking the Giants.
Green Bay, Minnesota.
Yeah. Green Bay or Minnesota.
Green Bay.
Green Bay, right?
Yeah, I got to take my Super Bowl pick to
Anybody-
win week one.
Where is
Yeah.
it?
Minnesota.
In Minnesota.
What? The thing is,
It's not prime time.
This constitutes a big game
So-
because it is in the 3:00 slot, 3:25. So it's a big game.
It's not a big game. That's not prime time.
No.
It's going to be
Not prime
America's
time.
game of the week.
no, just for funsies, I'll take Minnesota.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay, so-
we've got one Minnesota. The rest of us Packers.
Vikes. P,
All
you
right.
taking
Pack.
B?
We'll probably all pick the Chiefs over the
Chiefs.
Cardinals.
Yeah, let's not pick that game.
Vegas
right
and
over.
That's a
LA.
big one.
that
L-
is.
Yeah. Raiders.
I mean, I'm gonna
Raiders,
go
Chargers.
Chargers. Is anybody picking the Raiders?
Hang on, let me think about this one.
I'll take the Raiders.
I'm thinking about taking the Raiders.
I don't believe it, but I'm taking them.
Is it Raiders Chargers?
Yeah. At 3:20. Yeah, I
No, I'm taking the Chargers.
think the Raiders.
Sam, you're taking Chargers, yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking Chargers.
Jason, who are you taking, P?
Raiders.
Ooh, me and P.
2 Raiders, 2 Chargers. Okay, all right.
Tampa Bay,
Bucks-
Dallas.
Bucks,
Didn't you
Cowboys.
just pick
Anybody
the
take-
Raiders to finish last in the division?
Who?
UP.
No, I said the
You
Broncos.
said the Broncos. Yeah, I think we all kind of. picked
And
them.
I also
Okay,
and sneaky. I also did say I think 4 games will separate last place from first place in our division. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the last place team is going to be a bad team.
I'm taking Bucks.
Bucks.
Dallas.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Bucks.
Okay, so P, we got one for Dallas. All right, and then Broncos, Seahawks. We'll probably all go Broncos.
Yeah, let's not pick
Yeah.
that. So our week 1 picks that we are choosing are Bills, Rams, Pats, Dolphins, Browns, Panthers, Colts, Houston, Vikes, Green Bay, Raiders, Chargers, Bucks, Dallas. I have this saved. We'll keep track of that
So
every
we all
week.
actually have different. Okay, so anytime, yeah, we'll just every week we can go through each games, and if
Keep it tallied for the year.
Yeah.
there's one, yeah, if one of us doesn't agree with the rest, or we're split, whatever, right?
All right, let's move off of NFL and let's go into the MLB. Couple of stories. We're gonna just kind of power through these. The first one we have is Judge hitting his 53rd home run, breaking his personal best.
Personal best, trying to get to 60.
Trying
by
to
the
get
end of the
there.
year. Let's see if you
Yeah.
can. It'll be pretty big.
It's
Get
gonna
that
be close.
60. Yeah, and then hey, we're sticking with homers. Pujols
Yeah, Pujols
5
hit
away.
5 away.
695.
Mm,
Speaking of power hitters that can,
Yeah, man, get to 700. Come on, let's
Yeah.
do it.
Hope he doesn't.
Pujols.
I hope he
500.
does. I
It's
like
gonna be
Pujols.
tough. He could finish. What if he finishes at 699? You just see something like that happening.
Then he's got to come back for another year.
I know, but you come back just to hit one home run and
Yeah.
then you retire.
Hometown story next. Bobby Witt Jr. The 5th rookie player to get a 20 for 20. 20 home runs,
man.
20
Yeah.
steals.
He's turning out to be everything that was promised, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we'll have to see him take another step next year to actually be it. But yeah, he so far, like,
I'm liking what I'm seeing
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
guy. So we can go from Royal to ex-Royal and talk Benny.
Broke his,
Benintendi broke his wrist.
he broke like a bone in his wrist that he had issues with before, I believe in college, maybe. Where they thought they had fixed it. Anyways, yeah. So they think he might be able to come back by the end of the season and should be there for some.
Which
of the
that's pretty
playoffs.
crazy.
He's gonna have to get surgery on it too. Like, he's gonna
Yeah.
have to get surgery on his wrist, and yeah. So I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see, but that's again big hit for the Yankees, who are struggling down the stretch. They're still like 5 games up, but
Mhm.
they've been going down, and you can lose that in the last 30 games.
So we can move off of that. We can go into a fun story. We had Timmy Trumpets playing live
Mets, right?
for the Mets. Yeah,
To play
for Diaz.
Diaz,
Yep, coming out.
walkout music. So he
And
came
The
out. and played
crowd. The
trumpet.
crowd. I mean, it's a cool video to watch. I'll definitely be playing it.
That was great, man.
It was awesome. It was
Um,
awesome.
So that was cool for the Mets. Although not cool for the Mets is that they are slipping a little in their division. They're only one game up on the Braves. So
Ooh.
going to be a fight in that division coming down the
Mhm.
stretch here. It's going to be a fun division to watch. And yeah, let's see Edwin Diaz just keep it up, man.
Yeah.
Those Mets are
So
going-
speaking of fun songs, what would your guys' walkout song be?
I think mine, I depends on how well I'm doing that year, but I want to say "Second Sucks" by A Day to Remember, just because
Mhm.
I want the fight, at the very beginning. I just wanted to say fight.
The
and
Mortal
have that
Kombat fight.
go right into that breakdown to open up the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So that'd be a sweet one to walk out to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was
Just
gonna
get
say
you pumped, right? Just like
similar. I was gonna say a song called "Fire" by Beartooth because of the way it starts.
Okay.
I don't know if mine would be. It's not really a song. It's the sound of a man being eaten alive by a bear.
Sam about just spit take.
my drink almost came right out, man.
That's great. I like that.
I think that would probably really unsettle the other team.
Yeah, I think you might unsettle the home
Best
crowd
answer.
too, but
Best answer.
If you're gonna
Well-
make me choose a song, probably "Goodbye Horses."
okay.
Okay.
Just come out cross-legged, arms
Just to
out.
psych
It
him
is
out. I
close
like
to.
the psych
I was
out.
close to saying "Love Me Sexy" from
Yeah.
Just for the psych out.
from
So-
Cynic Row.
So
Oh,
Hannah
that's
a good
Hannah
fucking
and
movie.
I had a discussion about this at dinner tonight, and we were trying to figure out what mine would be. And you guys know me well enough. I'm silly, so I like to do silly things. So I'm coming up with all these silly songs. But I think what I finally chose was Stone Cold's walkout song.
With the glass breaking and everything.
Glass breaking.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and it's enough people know that song, it'll get people pumped.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then
for
I
sure.
told her a close second, just because I think it's funny. It's also wrestling themed, obviously. Would be John Cena's "Not His Now" walkout music, but when it was Thugonomics that he actually rapped over.
Yeah.
That
Mm.
song to me is so
Mm.
funny because it's so bad.
Okay.
That would be funny.
That'd be good.
But
Okay.
yeah, okay. So that's our MLB for the week. I thought that would be
Yeah.
a fun little.
Or I'd pick a Bloodhound Gang song.
That'd be good.
Some say, I
Like
haven't
this
decided what-
Foxtrot
funny.
uniform, Charlie Kilo or something.
There's a few different ones.
Yeah.
I would
Get the real subtle ones.
I would cycle through them throughout the year, and just the
Yeah.
best parts of them.
Untis.
Oh,
All right, let's move on. We had a couple of college games we wanted to talk about here. So we're gonna start with Sam's team, Florida, upsetting number 7 Utah.
oh, it was so good, you guys. It was everything you wanted in a new head coach for his first game out against a top 10 team, right? Number 7. And a sophomore quarterback, who we saw flashes of last year when he was able to play, and he's ballsy enough to wear 15 in Florida. So that's
Right.
already like
He does have
play
the ball.
quarterback. So you're like, all right, guy, do you know what you're doing? And last year he came out and made some plays, and you're like, okay, maybe. And he took this game over, and it was just great. Like
Mhm.
Sneaky, you sent in the group chat that his play to get that 2 down or the 2-point conversion.
That play was awesome.
The pump the pump fake spin.
Dude,
What is
Oh
that?
man.
that was very Mahomes against the 49ers.
Yeah. Oh
You know,
yeah. And then
I've watched that replay a few times and I can't figure out how he gets out of it.
Yeah,
I
me
don't
neither.
either. It's
It
magic.
makes no sense.
How does he just turn midair like that? Like all of a sudden he just turns his body like midair. I don't get it either. The dude looks like a freak. I hope it looks like he's going to be able to live up to that 15. For that, it's one game. It's one game, right?
Right.
So, pump the brakes, but I am excited. I'm just excited because since Mahomes, we haven't really had, we had Kyle Trask was really the only good QB, like competent
Yeah.
QB play we've had since him.
Will
And
Grier.
he was a pocket passer who wasn't like he was good, but he wasn't exciting. And Anthony Richardson looks fucking exciting, man. He was able to have, 3 touchdowns on the day. They're all on the ground, but still, like, he had 104 rushing yards on 11 carries. And then he was like 17 to 23 passing for 160 some yards. So just, and he looked very good in the pocket too. Like, even though he didn't have like a ton of throwing stats, when he did sit in the pocket and sometimes he had time, I saw him go through progressions. Watch out for this guy in the NFL too. Like, this is what the Trey Lances and the Justin Fields and the guys who have been getting drafted a lot higher than, those type of QBs would have. And those type of QBs, obviously black, very athletic, awesome QBs that you would want on your team. Those guys are getting drafted higher. And I think you could see Anthony Richardson, obviously not this year, but next year, or the year after, get drafted fairly high just because of his playmaking ability like that. Maybe, again, it's way too early predictions from an overexcited fan, but I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there.
Hey,
okay, so that was my rant. Thank you guys. Thank you for letting me go on that rant.
I'm going to let you talk Florida.
Upsetting.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that he's going to cut it all out, but
yeah,
Utah as well, because this is the highest Utah has ever been ranked going into a season, and they were like kind of sleepers for a playoff pick. And
well, they may not. I mean, they better win out from now on. That's for sure.
They could still win the Pac-12, right? Yeah. This has nothing to do with Pac-12, so. But if they win every game from here on out, you could. Anyways,
second game was pretty crazy. We had Appalachia State scoring 40 in the fourth and still losing.
Because they went. So they lost basically. Coming down the fourth quarter, they score, and instead of going, for the tie, kicking a field, they try for 2 points, and then they don't get it. So what do? Onside kick. Because you don't have much time left, right? This is like,
I
think less than a minute or so. Onside kick. What happens? Well, you don't get it. Actually, the other team takes it all the way back to the house.
Ooh.
And now you're down by 8 with less than a minute. But hey, you don't score 40 in a quarter by not scoring every fucking time you touch the ball.
Yeah.
And that's what they did again. In that last minute. App State came back, baby. Scored, and now, of course, they have to go for 2 because they were down by 8. So they score that touchdown. And, unfortunately for them, the only time North Carolina's defense wanted to show up was during those 2-point conversions.
It also didn't help that they went scoreless in the third.
Yeah, no, that you can't, you don't want to do that.
North Carolina put a bunch of freshmen out there or something?
I mean, what's that?
North
Carolina just get up early and then put a bunch of freshmen out?
I don't know.
Because they were losing after the first quarter.
Yeah.
14-7.
It's North Carolina. It's not like they're.
Yeah, it's not one of those programs that is known for being
known for football.
No, they're a basketball team. Yeah.
And then Sam knows a little more about our next one. So Iowa.
Okay. All right. So the reason I told you to put down Iowa beating South Dakota State 7-3 sounds like an insanely boring game, and it probably was. Okay, they won this game 7-3, and neither team scored a touchdown.
Oh,
so again, 7-3. There was not a touchdown.
2 safeties and a field goal.
Each offense mustered only a field goal. Only a field goal from either offense.
Wow.
While Iowa's defense was able to outscore its offense. Your defense.
Wow.
Yes, and get 2 safeties.
That's insane.
So Iowa won with a field goal and 2 safeties, and the most unlikeliest way you can get 7 points.
That's pretty.
Sounds like an
crazy.
06 Bears story.
It
does.
It does.
So
that's perfect comparison. So that's just, I thought that was a fun one, and
yeah. The last one we actually watched going into the podcast because the ending was insane.
Yes.
Florida State beating LSU after a blocked extra point.
Yes, at the end.
As time expired.
So let's tell them how they got there.
Yeah.
You have, so I mean, at one point LSU's down 24-10, in the
Yeah.
fourth, right? They end muster to get back down by a touchdown. But then they're punting it to Florida State, right? So we're now 24-17. They're punting it to Florida State. Florida State drops the punt, right? Or no, I'm sorry, other way around, right? LSU, they get down, they get within a touchdown, and then they stop Florida State, forcing Florida State to punt it to them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I got it backwards here. That's the way it makes sense. Okay, so they get Florida State to punt it to them. Their guy muffs the punt at about the 7-yard line, I think. Yeah, for Florida State to take over right there. Florida State gets up to the 1-yard line, then fumbles the ball, where LSU then takes back over at their own 1-yard line. So down by a touchdown,
Then
they drive all the way from their 1-yard line to, and score a touchdown, right? In the last, couple minutes of the game here?
Well, yeah, and
to end the game. Yeah,
that last catch, there was a long review to see if he went out of bounds or was in bounds.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
with 1 second left on the clock, yeah, at the end of
from
this
the
drive,
3, I think.
that started at their own 1-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
With 1 second left, their guy catches the ball and goes out of bounds. They think they have to review it. They stop the whole thing. And it turns out he didn't actually make it out of bounds.
Yeah,
He
but
was
they
down
picked up
in
the
bounds.
first down, so they got the chains moving timeout sort of thing.
Right, but the clock had still stopped for the review. So as soon as they set the ball right
It
down,
was it was weird, but then Florida State called a timeout. Just
because they were still gonna get a chance to snap the ball, like LSU was still gonna. Anyways, LSU ends up scoring a touchdown, right? That they get to play. They end up scoring a touchdown. All they gotta do is kick that extra point, and Florida State comes in and blocks the field goal. The ball hits the freaking crossbar and drops down. Oh my god, it was insane. I hate fuck Florida State, but also fuck LSU.
fuck LSU.
If they're gonna do it to a team, they couldn't have picked a better one besides maybe Georgia or Alabama.
Yeah,
but
Donovan Mitchell got traded.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mitchell
That was
got
pretty big.
traded
To Cleveland. That's huge.
That was pretty big.
Yeah, and
that sent my boy over to the Jazz.
I didn't think
Ogbani.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Colin Sexton also signed the extension right upon landing in Utah, so they got a nice, intriguing young player that you can potentially build around. Not a bad way to start a rebuild.
Yeah.
And they got a buttload of picks now. Them and the Thunder, both looking like they're going to have like 15 picks in the next 3 or 4 years in the first round.
Build up.
They both got ours.
Definitely building something.
Yeah, Thunder.
I mean, they could fuck it all up, but
yeah,
something.
And that's for those small market teams, that's the best way to build.
PB, take me through the Donovan Mitchell trade, for somebody who knows more about it, and like what it was and what is Cleveland trying to do here? Are they actually trying?
Dude, Cleveland's got a nice roster, man. You got a lot of people I've seen trying to make the comparison to Portland's lineup with CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard, because now you've got Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, who are more offensive guards leading the way. But the big difference is they've got some defense around there. I mean, Evan Mobley down on the front court, and you've also got Jared Allen on that squad still.
Yeah, he was great with us in the Vikings.
I knew that was coming.
Jared
I literally had the exact
Jared. Sure. Okay. Whoever that is, he sounds great.
Yeah, I mean,
very good defense.
Yeah, he played with Brooklyn. He had the big
Allen. Oh, I like it already. All right.
Yeah, he's got that old school look to him. But yeah, I like this Cleveland team in the East this year. Not to win the East, but they're
that's the dude, the Afro with the Cleveland.
Yeah, that's your biggest one. I mean, they got.
I forgot that trade even happened.
I like it.
What they give up for him?
Couple of picks and a couple of players, right?
Yeah, they gave up.
It wasn't a bad trade for the Jazz either.
No, yeah, I mean, I think it was 3 first-round picks, two pick swaps.
Okay, Jazz. I thought he was with the Pacers. Are you sure he wasn't with the Pacers?
Donovan was with the Jazz.
Yeah, sure, of course.
And then they
Who's
also
with the Pacers?
Nobody.
the
No,
Pacers.
they got some.
They got
what?
Miles Turner. That's intriguing. I mean, they made the trade and got Halliburton, Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay,
They've
so
got
they
Buddy
don't have
Hield.
anybody. Okay, you can see my real in-depth knowledge of the NBA right here.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana's roster needs some tweaks, but they've got some trade chips,
Okay. Okay.
to kind of get into this. I think they're the next team to kind of watch to see if they go into this pick collecting mode. Because I think they have
really try to build something.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got 2 or 3 players I could see other teams in contention wanting to make a move for. Like
Right.
Buddy Hield has defensive limitations, but he's also a really good shooter.
Mhm.
That was one of the big things. Like, for some reason, the Lakers chose to go through with the Westbrook trade over going through with a Buddy Hield trade, when Buddy Hield kind of has that makeup to fit in a LeBron-built team. He's a good shooter, doesn't demand the ball all the time. Seemed like a perfect fit, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, cool for them, maybe.
So watch Cleveland.
They can
Watch
actually.
Cleveland to make some noise out in the East. I mean, you're probably looking at a team that's out in the second round still.
But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this week.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with where we went.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah,
Right there.
don't-
All you
well,
gotta
you
do
also
is
gotta hit the
like,
Sam.
Hit that, Sam.
Yeah, you gotta
4
hit
days till football.
Yes.
Yeah, 4 days.
Dude, I'm ready for it. That Bills.
Oh my god.
Man, the Bills Rams game.
can't get here soon enough.
Right.
Hey,